Findhorn when I came here was realizing that I had come, and many of us had come, often in sort of bizarre, people literally getting lost and stumbling down from Kinloss, hitchhiking and arriving at the caravan park and not even ever having heard of the community. But there was something about the early work that the founders did, that Dorothy, Eileen, Peter did in what they called those 7 years of interlinking with individuals, groups, and centers around the planet, telepathically through their meditations. And their deep sense that there was this wider community of consciousness, of spirit that was emerging. And that both the radiating of energy to those centers and people, and also the sense that maybe some of us would meet at some point. So there was the sense of being a part of this, I don't know what to call it, because you can't really define it too specifically, but of something that was grown from an intention of working with this subtler, etheric, spiritual emergence. And knowing that we had shown up in response to that, and when I was here, we had the mayor of Ephesus in Turkey come for a visit. And I think he was one of the first people who confirmed in coming here, meeting with Peter and Eileen, and I believe Dorothy and a number of us, that he had been a part of that telepathic communication. He had felt it and linked, and he had a group in Turkey, and it was real. It was substantial. That was a real work that had impact. And so I think, you know, of that ongoingness of the magnetism of this center, what everyone holds, whether conscious or not, of improving this center and making it what it is today, but knowing that it's still broadcasting out into this wider web of the planet and inspiring, connecting in invisible ways. And that shows up in all sorts of the synchronicities and miracles and little connections of manifestation that continue. And so I just wanted to bring that up.
I want to just pick it up, just one thing possible.
But I think that part of what Peter and Eileen and Dorothy were doing was actually building a center around which energy could land. And that was the love in action, work is love in action. And so the idea was to incarnate into physical form some of the ideation that existed in other levels of consciousness, and to, in a sense, bring the kingdom of heaven down onto earth. And it was something that we could all participate and engage with, but not in an exclusive sort of way. So the notion of mystery school is not something where there's something special and esoteric and elitist. It's actually bringing energy into the world that is accessible for everyone. But within the context of the discussions around the mystery school, it did have its own vernacular and terminology that at times seemed somewhat elitist or separative, but it was very much David who was the one who brought this forward. And as Katherine was saying, the notion when those of us who left to form Lorien Association, it was the idea of taking this into the world, and that community was really a community of consciousness, and one didn't physically need to be in a place to have an experience of contact with spirit, but spirit was accessible wherever you were. And so we started using this term community of consciousness, which was part of what Lorien was doing in the United States and Canada, which was very much an extension of Findhorn's work in the world. Although we weren't promoting Findhorn as a place, we were discussing the principles of community life, which Findhorn embodied, but could also be applied elsewhere. And that, to me, was very much the mystery school, you know, in action, not sitting around in an academic manner discussing something.
Is there any more?
I would just say that what is needed here is what is needed in all the places I'm aware of. A reframing of the story about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And maybe that's part of what the wider community and all these different components need to come together and ask. And what is it that this place and this area and this village has not just to offer in terms of its survival, but really what is the story? What is the hope? What are the visions? What is it that this place holds for the future of our world? And I think when maybe those questions are explored, some of these components will come together in a, there's always a greater unifying place if people are willing to go and explore and find that. And that then brings coherency to the parts. So I just put that out in response, and it's always an evolving exploration. This is a pioneering center, so the answers are to be discovered.
Just very briefly add on to that, you know, we've got 50 years of embodied knowledge, a phenomenal amount of, you could say, hard work, but also intention and love and caring, and I think we're only just starting to begin to do our work.